Hi, welcome back. I picked up a Zenit off the shelf. I feel like using it today. It's a Zenit 122, an old Russian. So here you'll see, I don't know if that's translating well, made into USSR. Strong camera. It's a plastic camera. Falls into the plastic camera category. I don't think there's metal anywhere here. And we know plastic cameras, the Holgas, the Dianas, all those nice dime store cameras that are a joy to hold and use. But there's nothing plastic about this camera except the fact that it's plastic. Otherwise, this is a strong, robust camera. It's got everything you need in regards to being in control. This is not your point and shoot camera. Takes some very interesting, unique pictures, and you can play around with what you want to do. In other words, you can be very creative. Okay, I know most of you are familiar with this camera and this type of camera, but for some of you that aren't, there's a couple of tricks you should know. First of all, what you want to do, your main objective will be to know if you're shooting anything moving or anything stationary. So you're going to set your shutter speed. 250 is safe. In a lot of cases, you'll be shooting at 125, which is along the lines of the Holga Diana plastic cameras. But well, maybe for the purpose of the film I'm going to stick with 125. The film I'm going to use is, I'm always using a 400 film. In this case, I'm going to be using a 100 film, so you check and set the ASA here. You say, why are you setting all this? That's because this camera will tell you if you are exposing it properly by a little red light that appears in the, I think it's the upper right-hand corner in your viewfinder. So, okay, you've set basically speed, ASA. The trick to this camera, as I was saying, is to focus. You have to focus first. And you can only focus when this aperture, let me see if I could get, you can see that. When this aperture, you'll never focus when this aperture is closed or anywhere halfway. You have to open it all the way, point at your subject, and then focus. Now that you have your focus, now remember, this is all set. You're not going to change this. You're going to play around with your focus, and then you're going to play around with the aperture. How this focus works is I think it's called a bullseye, where you have a center circle which is cut in half. And when you focus on something, you want the upper half of that circle and the bottom half to line up. It's quite easy. You really can't go wrong, but it has to be open. And then after that, you can play with your aperture. I hope I explained that properly. Open aperture, focus, look at your subject. Now moving this aperture, because it's way in front here, very strange. Then you look for the little exposure red dot and you take your shot. Number 2, it's an Industar lens. It's a gorgeous pancake lens. Wonderful. It takes some really great sharp pictures. I like to fall off around the edges, and we'll see that in photos later. It's a pancake lens, and I think now in 2022 or 2023, is it Fuji or film, or is it Nikon that are making a compact pancake lens? Well, this is going back decades, way ahead of it. Wonderful lens for analog photography. Let's just set this back to the B setting, and we'll look at the curtain, which is another something about this. Pull that up. It opens up for you. It's a beautiful curtain shutter. Gorgeous. Don't touch it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Beautiful. Let me do the aperture in there. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Now I'll close up. And now let me wind it. You'll see the curtain go back into place. Very fun to use. Very fun. That's about it. You say, where's the battery? The battery's right there. When you're not using your camera, take the battery out. Put this off to the side. I don't even know if I'm going to be putting this back in. I don't want to lose it on the field. If I do put it back in, put a piece of black tape over that. You don't want to be losing this, but you don't need it because you just won't have your red dot and you're going to have to know how to shoot either using the Sunny 16 rule or using some sort of light meter. So with your knowledge and an idea of if it's an overcast day. Okay, enough about that. Let's move on because we want to see the pictures. Yeah. Okay. I love the Kono black and white monolith. I've told you in another video, that's my favorite black and white film. We can argue about that all day long. This is a fancy color hand-tinted film, also handmade in Germany film. 35 millimeter, obviously, it's brand new. But the thing is, I'm used to shooting in 400 ASA. This is 100, so it's going to give me a nicer, little crisper picture, I guess, which is no big deal. But okay, that's what you're going to get here. 36 exposures, I like that. Color, hand-tinted color negative film. Okay, one. Looks good. Okay, moving along fine. Okay, that's it. We're loaded. Let me now check all my settings. 100, 125, and this is where I'm going to concentrate on my aperture and my focus. Now, all in one day. So let's get this thing unloaded. The only secret here is how to unload a Zenit. There's a button here, secret little button, which is right in underneath this thing. I don't know if you can see it. There, you can kind of see it right there. Right there. All you do is push it, it'll click, and then, there you go. Sure. I don't know if you have to keep it depressed. No, I guess you don't have to keep it depressed. Okay. Okay. There it is. Sorry, the lights are low. Everything's getting a little bit fuzzy. Okay, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Until next time, let's put her away. And here it is. Let's send it all in. See what happens. One more thing before we go to the photographs. I took my light meter out, and it was an overcast day. The clouds were kind of pretty. They were coming and going, and this thing just was going nuts. It was acting as if it was a nice, bright, sunny day. It was not coinciding with what the little light inside here was telling me. I had all this set up nice. So I said, you got to make a decision. You can't be vacillating between this one, this one, this one. So I put this one away, back into the bag it went. And I stuck with the exposure, automatic exposure meter that's located on this film, and went with that. And in the back of my mind, I was also using the Sunny 16 principle, which did coincide with this. I must say, I shot, I guess, about 34, 36 shots over there at the farm and on their property. and they were so gracious to let me wander around. Okay, that's it. Enough of me now. Let's take a look at the pictures. Okay, finally, I thought he'd never shut up. Let's take a look at these pictures. First of all, this is the, as you know, the Kona Delight Art 100 ASA. And all I could find on the internet, what it said about it is as it has intense colors, fine grain, a unique look. Well, whatever a unique look means, well, let's take a look. It's a German hand-tinted film, and in my opinion, I think it is exactly as intended. It's bold, it's pretentious, the hues come out nice and strong. The colors don't come out as a filter-like effect. You see the reds and the warm yellows come out forward, but it also allows for the greens to move. There's nothing romantic about this film. It's got a lot of presence to it. There's plenty of halation. You can see the softness where the darks are bleeding into the whites. Here I wanted to show you that the top of the film and the bottom taken together, but two distinctly different colors. Nice contrast, good contrast edge here. You can see on the branch. This was pointing further away. A nicer look to this, not as bold as the others. Doesn't handle the sky very well. And like I told you before, this was an overcast day. That is not a direct sun. Works wonderfully here. You can see in a deep, dark woods. The camera worked well here too. Picked everything up. Nice sharpness. And I'm going to tell you more about that sky. We've already seen how the colors of that fence were different. Yellow, and just the next shot was white. Now take a look at that sky. Nice and vanilla yellow sky there. Same here. This one I didn't expose properly, I don't think. Might be all in the exposure. But I didn't move it around. And here you have literally two shots with two different presentations. Now I want to show you that this film is very conducive to being changed over to black and white. Not with the simple touch of a button. It's going to take a little bit of talent, but you saw that went very well. Let's try and take a look at another one here. These bold colors really give you a lot to work with if you want to make it black and white. Thank you very much for again coming to my videos, and I wish you all a very happy day. Have a great day in photography.